Have you noticed how some words have an incredible power over women? Sometimes it's just one sentence, something simple, but it creates an instant effect. She gets curious, intrigued, and on top of that, she starts seeing you in a completely different way. It almost seems like magic, right? Well, there's a secret that 99.9% of guys don't know how to use. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. You meet that woman you're interested in, say the right sentence, and out of nowhere, she's fascinated, wanting to know more about you, wanting to get closer. And the best part? You don't have to be the most handsome guy in the world or keep making a bunch of empty compliments. There's a specific phrase that can turn the game in your favor. Stick with me until the end because today I'm going to reveal this trick that few people know how to use, and it will change the way you communicate with women. Let me ask you something. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I try to be interesting, I try to stand out, but it seems like women don't care? This happens because you're probably making the same mistake most guys make. You're not using the right words. And so, no matter how hard you try to be cool, the connection doesn't happen. The woman doesn't feel that impact. The thing is, when you use the right words, not only do you create a sense of mystery, but you also trigger emotions that make her feel attracted to you in an unexpected way. And this is where the secret comes in. The phrase I'm going to teach you today will change the way you communicate and, more importantly, leave a lasting impression on her. Let's discover what it is. I'm going to teach you a phrase that 99.9% of women can't resist. And it's not just any compliment, it's not a canned phrase that any guy can say. It's something that will make her stop, think, and want to know more about you, in a way that will mess with her curiosity in a unique way. This will change the game, believe me. Stick with me because I'm going to tell you everything now, and you'll see how you can use this to attract women in ways you never imagined. Strategy 1. The phrase that awakens her desire. Now, let's get straight to the point. The phrase that will make women get intrigued, with their minds spinning, and more importantly, with the desire to get to know you more. This phrase is simple, but has immense power. When you say it, you activate an emotional trigger that they can't ignore. The phrase is, there's something about you that I haven't figured out yet. But I'm curious. Do you know what happens when you say that? The woman automatically starts wondering, what did he see in me that he hasn't figured out yet? She'll get curious, unsure of what to think, and that mystery will make her completely focused on you. Why does this work? First, you activate the curiosity trigger. Women love mystery. They like to feel like there's something deeper to discover about you. When you say this phrase, you're creating an enigma. And more importantly, she'll want to know what you saw in her that others don't see. Second, you create a dynamic where she seeks validation, instead of you constantly trying to impress her. By saying you're curious, you're putting the ball in her court. She'll want to know what you're thinking, what you really see in her. This makes her feel special and, at the same time, creates an emotional connection with you because now she'll want to discover what you really meant. Finally, this phrase shows that you're not predictable. You're not giving obvious compliments. You're saying something that makes her think, something that breaks the pattern, something she doesn't hear every day. And when you deviate from the obvious, you immediately stand out from the other guys who always do the same approach. You're having a relaxed conversation with a woman. The exchange is going well, but you realize that to generate more connection, you need something more. So you drop the phrase, looking her in the eyes with that calm and confident tone. There's something about you that I haven't figured out yet, but I'm curious. She gets instantly intrigued. She'll probably give a nervous little laugh, look at you with a sparkle in her eyes, and even ask, what do you mean by that? This is the perfect moment for you to continue. How to continue? When she asks, don't panic. Just smile and say, I'm still trying to figure it out. But I like this mystery. This will keep the conversation flowing, while she gets even more curious and emotionally involved. Now, you're in control of the situation without forcing anything. This is the type of approach that will make you stand out. Now, imagine her thinking about you for the rest of the day, wondering what you meant by that. That's what creates that genuine attraction that often leads to something more serious. Strategy 2. How to use the phrase the right way. Now that you know what phrase to use, let's talk about how to apply it the right way. It's no use just throwing this phrase out there without the proper confidence or without understanding the right moment. To have the maximum impact, You need to do it with style and precision. So, let's go over the steps to use the phrase with confidence and leave her completely intrigued. Look her in the eyes and speak with a calm tone. The first thing you should do when you're about to say the phrase is look her in the eyes. The gaze has an incredible power over the woman's perception. When you do this, you're showing confidence and authenticity. There's nothing more attractive than a guy who feels secure in what he says. Plus, the gaze creates an immediate emotional connection. She'll feel like you're serious, that this isn't just a joke. Now, when you say the phrase, use a calm, almost mysterious tone. Don't rush or say it carelessly. Say it slowly. There's something about you that I haven't figured out yet, but I'm curious. This tone of voice will generate a sense of curiosity and expectation. The woman will want to understand what you're saying because the tone isn't obvious. It's like it's something unique, personal. And that, my friend, will grab her attention. Wait for her reaction before continuing. After you drop the phrase, give her time to process. Don't freak out waiting for an immediate response. Let her reflect on what you just said. This small pause will make her engage more with the phrase because she'll start wondering what you meant, and it's at this moment that curiosity kicks in. When you say something mysterious and she doesn't know how to react immediately, she starts wondering, what did he mean by that? Is he interested in me in a different way? That's the moment that creates attraction. It's important that you don't force an explanation right away. Let curiosity settle in. If she asks, what do you mean by that? Respond with confidence. Now, if she asks, what do you mean by that? You have to be prepared. Smile confidently and say, I'm still trying to figure it out. But I like this mystery. This will make her engage even more in the conversation because she'll feel like you're being sincere and, in some way, making her think. This response will create a comfortable sense of insecurity in her. She'll want to know more about what you're thinking, and that only increases the connection. Here, you're not just saying a phrase and waiting for a reaction. You're creating a mental game. You're giving her something to reflect on while leaving the feeling that you know exactly what you're doing. This is extremely attractive. Use it at the right moment. Now, a crucial tip, don't just use this phrase at any point in the conversation. The key is timing. You need to feel the vibe and know when the ideal moment is. This type of phrase will work better when you're already having a more intimate or relaxed conversation, and when she's shown interest in you. Don't do it right at the beginning, in the first minute of the conversation, or when the talk is still cold. Use the phrase when you feel her interest starting to rise, when there's good eye contact, and the conversation is flowing naturally. The idea is that the phrase will be the turning point, the moment when she starts seeing you in a more intriguing and attractive way. Strategy 3. How to maintain curiosity and attraction. Now that you've learned how to use the phrase to spark her interest, let's talk about how to keep the curiosity in the air, which will ensure that she continues thinking about you and gets closer to you more and more. After all, curiosity is one of the biggest drivers of attraction. When you manage to maintain mystery in a smart way, you're creating an atmosphere of desire that will make her want to know you even more. Avoid revealing everything at once. The biggest mistake a guy can make when trying to keep the curiosity alive is opening up too much too quickly. Remember, the more you reveal about yourself too fast, the more you lose the mystery. We're not talking about playing a game of hide and seek, but rather showing that you have layers, that you're a complex and interesting person. So, even if she starts asking more about what you meant by the phrase, don't give it all away at once. Instead of telling the whole story, let her want to know more. This creates a sense of incompleteness that generates attraction. Women love men who have a certain amount of mystery because it makes them feel there's more beneath what they see. Give vague but intriguing answers. If she keeps asking, you can give vague but interesting answers that will make her want to know more. For example, if she asks something more specific about what you're thinking, you can respond, I like to give things space to reveal themselves naturally, you know? This will spark her curiosity even more because you're showing you have a different approach than most people. These answers don't need to be complex, but they should leave the sense that there's more, that there's something to discover about you. This creates an interesting psychological effect because she'll start to think, what's he hiding? Build moments of interaction with emotional tension. Emotional tension is one of the most powerful elements for keeping a woman interested. When you interact with her in a way that she feels a mix of closeness and distance, you're creating an effect that will leave her wanting more. Instead of always being present or responding immediately, sometimes it's good to step back once in a while. This doesn't mean you should be cold or indifferent, but rather that you should manage your time and presence strategically. If you're always available, you'll lose the aura of mystery. She'll want to see more of you because she'll feel that you're being selective with your time and attention. Emotional attraction is built, not forced. Remember, emotional attraction happens over time, not because of a single phrase or a single gesture. You'll need patience and consistency. It's not about forcing an immediate connection, but about letting her organically dive deeper into who you are. Keep the conversation interesting, make her feel like there's always something new to discover, but don't force it. Be yourself, but with a touch of mystery. This will create genuine attraction without you having to do anything exaggerated or artificial. You've already learned the phrase that can spark a woman's curiosity and desire. You've learned how to apply it, how to create mystery, and how to maintain that emotional tension. But the key to making all of this work is confidence. Without confidence, none of this will work. She might like the phrase, but if you don't say it with assurance, if you don't carry that calm and assertive tone of voice, it won't have the desired impact. Confidence isn't something you build overnight. It's something that's built over time, through small actions and the way you communicate with the people around you. When you act with confidence, you're telling her, without words, that you're not just any man, that you have something unique to offer. And that, my friend, is extremely attractive. So, when applying this technique, remember that you're not just communicating words, you're transmitting an emotional state. The way you speak, the way you behave, everything will determine how much she engages with you. Now, think about this. The more you apply this technique with confidence, the more you'll become the man women can't resist. This goes beyond a simple conversation. It's about being a man of value, someone who knows exactly what he wants and how to conquer. And when she starts getting intrigued, curious, and even obsessed with you, you'll see the impact of this strategy. You'll have awakened something much deeper in her, something that will stay with her even after the conversation ends.